What an unusual looking camera.
Come to the Chapel of Skull.
Right.
I am standing here with Peter Molyneux.
Yeah. I have the enviable job of creating games. I get to dream dreams and see them kind of in reality.
We are going to tell stories that have never been told in role-playing games before.
Well, I mean, the problem with Nintendo is that I'm used to sexy pieces of hardware.
Without ever really playing it. The name of Lionhead is another thing I'm not particularly proud about.
We're going to be talking now about Fable. The entire world wants to know about this game.
Right.
Shit!
So the idea that he gets older and you can see wrinkles on his face.
How's it feel to be a millionaire?
But Peter realizes that success can sometimes bring pressures of a different kind.
Suddenly everyone turned around and said,
do you actually believe in God, and would you like him to play goddess?
So I absolutely 100% believe I can say these insane things. So, for example, if you want to go through this game and be a super uber elite. Remember, I really want people who are casual players to play Fable. I mean, you know, that is the thing that I think we realised, is that when you come to something like Fable...
I came up with this really, really dumb idea that actually I made the fatal mistake of having a good idea, programming that idea up, and actually releasing it.
I now can reveal that he's one of the most wonderfully sweet, innocent people that will go on to find the cure for cancer. You've just killed him.
This is a role-playing game, remember? This war happened because of this belief.
And then eventually they released the game.
Yeah, I first met Peter when I was about 15 years old. He was really poor, actually. He was really...
We were really running out of money.
He'd have this sort of the same shirt on every day, and he'd be hunched over his computer with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and there'd be cigarette ash all over his computer.
We couldn't really afford the rent.
He literally was the archetypal sort of struggling artist. He was really just trying to get off the ground, and his business was struggling at the time.
I can see why he would want to go back to kind of his roots of having a smaller company. That's the kind of environment he thrives in.
When you're developing a game, you'll often run into a problem where we were locked up in his house for a period of time.
It's all about holding and hugging and caressing and chastising and beating and dragging.
I asked him once what made him stand out. He once told me that people, when they have an idea, have a little voice in their head saying, maybe it's not a good idea, maybe it's not, maybe this isn't the best thing to do. But he doesn't have that voice.
I can still remember it vividly. Going through my head, there was like an angel and a devil on my shoulders, and one saying, go on, you've just got to tell the truth, you know, you can't lie like this. And then this other voice saying, just lie, get the machines, go to the stand space and just sort it out afterwards. Of course, I ended up lying.
In 1997, he founds Lionhead Studios and begins to build his team.
This time, all the problems that we had in the past we can get right.
And that's one of the other cool things about role-playing games is...
You look up there and there's Eric the Bloodslayer going up the rescue. You think, oh no, he's going to get all the credit for that.
Why is that important?
New followers. Good.
Right, that's important, yeah.
To my horror, I went into testing, this is about a year ago, and I went into testing and they were all dead.
Mark then went to go and check on the hamster, who turned out to be dead, in his cage, stiff with rigor mortis.
I'm working with Simon and Dean. We're all sitting next to each other. Every day I get up and think about Fable. Every night I go to bed, go to sleep.
We've talked about it a little bit in the past.
Yes.
And what I want to know now is more about the details of the story and where we're actually going to be going with the game.
Okay. It's going to be really, really epic.
Toy wooden sword to her son in the game, and she broke down in tears, and wow, that's a fantastic story.
Because we're dealing with someone's life.
Of every tree and every leaf being modelled, and...
If you want to play a bad guy, you can play a bad guy. If you want to play a good guy, you can play a good guy.
We also keep track of just amazing details, like how much sun is hitting his skin.
Suddenly, the whole first-person shooter genre of games was totally revolutionised. There is a force which has controlled our world, and that force may be just in our imagination.
We originally wanted to call Lionhead Red Eye.
Hey, man. Hey.
it suddenly occurred to me that our company was called Taurus, spelled like the star sign, and there was this other company called Taurus, spelled like the donut.
I am the true hero of the sword.
A lot of the time in Fable 2, you are traveling with or you are experiencing the world with what we call companions. Now, sometimes those companions are people that are really woven into the story, a huge amount, and there will be no spoilers here. Other times, these are people that come in the Fable world. So if you like the look of a particularly nice woman, you can charm her and then bring her along and take her on an adventure with you, and she'll comment on it, and you know she won't be tremendous help, but it's nice to have a, let's say, relaxation on the journey as you go adventuring. So, for example, if you're using a sword, you'll notice over time its sword starts getting sharper. If you use it a certain way, the blade will curve. If you have your gamer score is built into the uniqueness of your sword, the higher your gamer score is, you'll see these little horns that appear on the side of the blade. If you kill innocent people with a sword, it'll start dripping with blood. If you use special moves and you're very successful with it, it'll get even more sharp. The texture of the blade, the shape of the blade is defined by the creatures you kill. That means everybody's weapons can be unique.
Just when will your network be available?
How you can mod this button, completely customize this button for yourself, and this button, and this button. And for the first time show them the magic off, and why I think the magic and the combat in total is as cool as it gets. You know, there's a dream, Ricardo, there's a dream that I have had since I was a little tiny kid. And we're closer to that dream than from the day that I did Populous 20 years ago, but we're nowhere really near it. I think what these things we call computer games have become are truly something which is amazing. So when you and I are talking about experiencing an Xbox game, and that is saved to the hard disk.
It's like knives and daggers and shurikens, and then you can be fast enough to catch arrows in midair, or you're going to use the magic system.
It was the marriage of fantastic graphics, very, very, very good gameplay.
And I've played lots of role-playing games.
It's all about power, man.
Though only one thought went through my mind: he must never play the game again.
Again, about mashing that button, holding that button, hitting that button with rhythm, and with people who are core players. All it means, people who are core players are going to look, their heroes are going to look super cool. What's so cool about that is you are then free to trade your weapon online, and your weapon will be known as Ricardo's axe of hob killing.
This was designed by someone called Dean Carter and coded mostly by someone called Simon Carter.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure they were both from my mother.
Yeah, so the combat system is actually turns out to be really, really different. We still got the 3 buttons, so 1 button for swords, 1 button for guns, 1 button for magic. Well, why is it like that? Why do you take my moment of victory away and roll the credits? Surely there's something we can do there. So. Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. It's still a little bit, you know, a little bit like. But there's something in England called Marmite. You either love this food called Marmite or you hate it. So, you know, I want to hear a fart from a sort of 25-year-old Brazilian woman.